Hi guys, so today I am here to talk about some more of my personal favorite names, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite names that start with the letter B. And I have 20 girls' names, just like last time, but only have 15 boys' names. And that is just because there aren't as many boys' names that start with B that I really love. So I hope that's okay with you guys. I am just going to get started with the girls' names. So at number 20 for girls, I have Beatriz, and Beatriz is the Spanish form of the name Beatrice, which is a name that I love, and it means bringer of joy, so it has a wonderful, wonderful meaning. And I think Beatriz is a very, very spunky version of this name. I love the way it sounds. I love the Z in it. I just think it sounds very spunky and modern. Number 19 is Bonnie, and Bonnie is an adorable name. It's an English name and it means happy, and it makes me think of Bonnie Wright, who played Ginny in the Harry Potter films, and she is just gorgeous and she has red hair and I just love her, so that's a very positive association with the name Bonnie that I have. Number 18 is Bethany, and I love Beth names. I love the name Elizabeth. It's in my top 5 favorite girls' names. I love Bethany, Bethan, Annabeth. I just think those names are so beautiful and melodic sounding. Bethany is a biblical place name, which is another thing that I really, really like about it, and I just think it is very pretty and kind of sounds like the girl next door, and I love it. Number 17 is Bryony, and to me this name has always sounded somewhat mysterious and kind of dark. I love both spellings of it. I'm not sure which one I actually prefer, and it is a Latin name which means to sprout. Number 16 is one that's a little bit quirky, and that is Beryl. And Beryl is a gemstone name that you don't hear that often anymore. It was somewhat popular 120 years ago, but it's definitely not in style right now, and I think it would be such a unique choice. There are gem names that are being used right now, like Jade is a big one, and I think Beryl would just be such a breath of fresh air and such a different choice, so I really, really like it. Number 15 is one that's a little bit out there. It's a Welsh name, and that is Blodwen, and I'm not sure how usable this name is. It's maybe more of a guilty pleasure name, but I still think it's beautiful, and it means fair flower. Number 14 is Brontë, and Brontë is of course a literary name for the Brontë sisters, Charlotte, Emily, and Anne, and that's probably one of the reasons I love this name so much, especially because Wuthering Heights is one of my all-time favorite books, and Brontë is actually a Greek name that means thunder, and I've always thought that was kind of an intriguing meaning. Number 13 is Berenice, and Berenice is a Greek name that I actually talked about in my Ptolemy family name video, and it means victorious, and I think this name is very, very grand, and just I think it would be a very bold choice, so you'd have to be kind of brave to use it, but I would love to meet a little Berenice. Number 12 is Bianca. This is one that I've always thought was so, so lovely. It just has a very feminine, soft sound, and it is an Italian name that means white. Number 11 is Bahati, and Bahati is an Afrikaans version of the name Beatrice. So again, it means bringer of joy, and I found this name through the supermodel who has the name Bahati, the Victoria's Secret model, and she is absolutely stunning, and it just made me love this name, this form of Beatrice. I just think it is very, very exotic sounding, but still usable in English-speaking countries. Number 10 is Blythe, and I love the sound of this name. I love both spellings, but I love the sound. I think it is kind of ethereal and just so, so pretty, and it's an English word name. It means happiness. Number 9 is Briar, and this of course makes me think of Sleeping Beauty, whose name was Briar Rose. So to me this name is very, very romantic sounding, and it is an English plant name. Number 8 is Braith, and to me this kind of has a similar sound to Blythe. It kind of has that magical kind of fairy tale sound to it, I think. And it is another Welsh name. I have been adoring Welsh names recently, and it means black and white, so it has a very interesting meaning as well. Number 7 is Briseis, and Briseis is a character from the Iliad. She is a very interesting character. She is actually she is taken captive, and she is the lover of Achilles, and I just think that the character makes me like this name, but it's just such a unique name as well that that's probably one of the reasons I like it, because it's not something you hear every day. And it is a Greek name, and it means daughter of Briseis. Number 6 is Blaire, and I prefer the spelling with the E on the end just because I think it makes it a little more feminine. And Blaire is actually a Scottish name, and it means field or plain. My top 5 names are all somewhat similar sounding. Number 5 is Beatrice. So this is the third form of that name that is on this list. And Beatrice means bringer of joy. I think this name is definitely ready to come back into style. It was popular 100 years ago. It's been used for hundreds of years. I think it is just a gorgeous name. There's actually a baby name book that's called Bring Back Beatrice, I believe. So I think it is definitely ready for a comeback. Number 4 is a similar sounding name, but it's definitely more of a guilty pleasure name for me, and that is Bellatrix. And if J.K. Rowling hadn't used this as the name of Bellatrix Lestrange in her Harry Potter series, I think it would be a lot more usable, because Bellatrix isn't exactly the nicest character. And it is a Latin name that means warlike. What I love about this name is that you could use the nickname Bella, or you could use the nickname Trixie, and I just think it is beautiful, but to me it's not that usable. Number 2 and 3 are Belle and Bella. Belle is French and Bella is Italian, and they both mean beautiful. Bella was my number 1 name for the longest time until I decided it was just too popular. Isabella was just too popular, and I didn't want to have a daughter who would be one of 5 Bellas in her grade. So it's no longer my number 1 name, but I still think it is a gorgeous, gorgeous choice, and I can definitely understand why Isabella and Annabella and Bella names are so popular. And my number 1 name, you might be able to guess, is Beatrix. So I have 4 variations of Beatrix on this list, so obviously I love it. And Beatrix is a Latin name that means bringer of joy. This name is in my top 10 personal favorites. It was actually my number 1 name at one time, but it's not my number 1 name anymore, but I would definitely consider using it on a little girl, and I would love to meet a little girl named Beatrix. I haven't met one yet. I hope to someday, because I hope it comes back into style. So for boys, I only have 15 names on this list. I have always had a harder time finding B names for boys that I really like. That could be a tongue twister, B names for boys. But I will share the 15 of them that I have with you guys, starting with number 15, which is Botsra. And Botsra is a biblical place name, and I think this one would be a really, really cool middle name choice. I like biblical place names in the middle name spot. My brother's middle name is Jericho, and I want to use Jericho as the middle name for my firstborn son. So maybe I have kind of a bias towards biblical place names in the middle name spot. I don't know. I just think that they work really well. Number 14 is Bram, and this is short form of Abraham. And Abraham has always been a name that I've really, really liked, but I think it's a little too big of a name for a little boy. I can picture it on a grown man, but on a little boy it's kind of a big name. So I think maybe if you use the nickname Bram, you could get away with using it and it would age really nicely. And Bram, or Abraham, means father of multitudes. Number 13 is Bastien, and Bastien is a French name that means revered. And this is a name I really like in the French pronunciation, but you could also say Bastien, and it could be a short form of Sebastian, which is a name that's also been growing on me and that I've been hearing quite a few people talk about. So this is kind of a multi-purpose name, I guess. Number 12 is kind of a naturey name, and that is Bay. And this is another one I think would work really well in the middle name spot. And of course it is an English word name. Number 11 is Beniah, and I normally don't like Ben names. I would say this is my favorite Ben name. I think it is very soft sounding while still being masculine and strong sounding at the same time. And it is a Hebrew name that means son of the Lord. Number 10 is another naturey name, and that is Birch, and this is obviously a tree name. Again, I think this would work really well in the middle name spot. It's kind of an unexpected, quirky middle name choice. Number 9 is Byron. I've always loved this name. It's an English name that means from the barns, but to me it sounds like it should be the name of a king. It just sounds so regal and distinguished. I love it. Number 8 is Bruce, and this was my great-grandfather's name, and so I only have positive associations with this name. He was, when I knew him, he was kind of a cranky old man, but he was a trickster and he loved practical jokes, and he was just a good guy, and it means from the town of Bruce. I also think that Bruce is just so strong and masculine sounding, and I would definitely consider using this name as a middle name. Number 7 might be more of a guilty pleasure name, but I think it sounds and looks so cool, and that is Baltazar. And Baltazar means Bal protects the king. I don't know how usable this name is, but I think it's really fun and maybe would be a great name for a pet. Number 6 is Banyan, and I just came across this in a baby name book and thought it was really nice sounding. It's an English name that means merchant, so it's an occupation name, and I just was really intrigued by it, so I put it on the list. Number 5 is Broderick, and this is a Slavic name. I'm probably mispronouncing it, so I'm sorry if I am. I love the way this name looks. Again, it's just a name that I think is very cool, very accessible to English speakers as well, even if we might pronounce it a little bit wrong, and it means proud ruler. Number 4 is Brighton, and this is an Irish name that means freckled. I think this would be adorable on a little red-haired freckled boy, and I love that you could use the nickname Breck because I just think that sounds so cool. Number 3 is Brighton, and to me this name sounds so happy and spunky, probably because it has the word bright in it. And it's an English name, and it literally means from the bright town. Number 2 is Broderick. I think this name sounds so masculine and just like a boy. It's a very boy name, if that makes any sense. It means son of Broderick, and I just really think this name is cool, and you could use the nickname Brody, you could use the nickname Rick. There are so many different nickname possibilities. I just really like this name. And my number 1 favorite boy's name is Boaz, and Boaz is a Hebrew name that means strength, and I love this name. It is so unique, and I can't think of any other name that sounds like it or looks like it. It's easy for people to say, it's easy for people to spell, but it's still got that kind of exotic quality to it, so that is why it is my number 1 boy's name on this list. So those are my favorite bee names. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to know what your favorite bee names are. So feel free to leave them in the comments, or if you want to, leave a video response and I would love to watch it. And I will be back with my favorite sea names, which is going to be really fun because there are a lot of sea names that I really like. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.